Hey, everybody. Welcome to the final episode of Everybody Loves Tom from 2023. Yes, we are in a new space, a new set. We're making it more personal, bringing you into our world, our real world here. And I thought it fitting to start this episode off playing a very, very special artifact from show's history. Yeah. By the way, it is a Stradivarius, in case you were wondering. Yes, we have Schwartz here, Jason's here.
Hello.
We are closing out the year, and I gotta say, like, just saying that, thinking about it, is such so many thoughts, so many feelings.
Yeah. Dude.
I don't want this year to stop. It's been so fun.
Yeah,
Guys,
It
right?
was a doozy.
it was a fucking doozy.
It was,
This thing's been broken twice, by the way.
yeah, I know. And in case you don't get the reference, that was from one of our trips to Mexico.
Yeah.
And
was
one
the
of my
one
favorite trips, actually.
Yeah, it was the one where Jax rode out of that bar on a donkey, and we came across this beautiful, classic-sized penis. And, yeah, then Rihanna was watching our show. You were recapping the night.
Yeah, I remember that.
There's a lot of things we can't even talk about that happened that night.
But, yeah. You saw, if you watched the sneak preview of the new season, then you saw that the penis actually made an appearance.
It did.
Yeah.
It was talked about.
It's a relic.
It is.
It's seen some shit.
It's actually, that actually really, like, I know in the grand scheme of things, not a big deal, but it was to me in a sense of, like, this is, like, one of my favorite artifacts, like, from our show. Like, that video that Rihanna posted about us and, like, with the dick flute, it felt very, what do I want to say? Like, it felt like, oh, we made it. Like, Rihanna's watching our show.
It was a viral moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a viral moment, and it was because of this guy right here.
Yeah.
On Star Trek: The Next Generation, they used to say that the lead character on the roll was the ship.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Kind of looks like a rocket ship.
yeah,
It's more or less a cast member now.
I know.
That was a really fun trip. By the way, I was just in Cabo, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Took a little trip down memory lane.
How was it? How was
It was awesome. I was there with Jax, who may or may not make a cameo on our television show this season, but it was lovely.
Yeah.
I went to all the old spots. Yeah, I went to Squid Row.
I actually
Nice.
saw Jax last night.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He had a karaoke night. I was grabbing. I was with a friend of mine, and we were just grabbing some drinks, and yeah, and then Jax hit me up, and which is cool. Like,
Yeah.
I'm loving that.
yeah, he hit me up, and we went by Jax's on a Monday, and
Hell
then
yeah.
sang some karaoke.
Because he does karaoke every Monday, right?
Even though I hate karaoke,
Oh, God. We
Ugh.
never get you doing karaoke.
I know.
That's not like you, Tom, to do
Fucking
karaoke.
hate it.
Uh,
You guys want to go karaoke tonight?
oh, yeah.
We've got the band back together that no one asked for.
Yeah,
Tom and Jax.
that's right.
But anyways, no, he appreciates you going out and showing love. And he said he's going to be coming out to Schwartz and Sandy's more lately.
Love that.
Coming to WeHo. Although it's a big deal for Jax to come over the hill to West Hollywood these days.
Yeah,
He's got a plan like a
daddy-o.
weekend. Yeah, exactly. How you feeling?
I'm feeling.
Cruising into the new year.
I'm feeling like very. For the first time in my life, I'm starting to feel optimistic.
For the first time?
In your life?
Sorry.
Did that come out right?
Jeez. This last year seems like it was so long.
Never ending.
Like, for real. Like,
Yeah.
it's been the longest year.
Yeah.
I was even just looking through pop culture things that happened in 2023, and Sandoval's like right up at the top.
Yeah.
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 On all the lists.
Parents are going to be so proud,
Yeah.
Made my mark in
You
history.
sure did.
You're just a cautionary tale now.
So did the Unabomber.
Dude, I was scrolling through my my camera roll starting with like late 2022, and it was actually a pretty awesome year. I know, there were some low points,
Yeah.
and at one point I turned into a full-on recluse and a hermit,
Yeah.
And it got bleak for a while. But there was lots of good things, too.
I feel like this past year has put a lot of I feel like it's put a lot of pressure and strain on our relationship.
Yeah, it really has. And
You
our
know?
business, too.
Yeah.
Or at least one of our
Of
businesses.
course, our business, but that business also has put strain on our friendship as well.
Yeah, but listen, we kind of just had our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah.
And
We did. November.
yeah, I feel like we're getting ready for a reset here.
I'm back in Schwartz and Sandy's. If you guys come to Schwartz and Sandy's, you will see me there.
And,
You'll see Schwartz there.
yeah.
You'll also see me there.
We're going to be upgrading food, drinks,
Yeah.
or changing. Didn't
got
need
a lot of-
upgrading because our menu was always great. The drinks
No,
are
we're
great.
just when we
need to-
opened, we opened with a very more limited menu,
Yeah.
and we're gonna be expanding.
Yeah. Working on our music program.
Yeah.
There's good things in the works.
Well, last time I've been there, there's been DJs, and it's been awesome.
Yes.
It's really
It's been
the vibe's
lively.
been awesome.
Dude, the
So much
onesie,
fun.
dude. I know you were in Mexico, but the onesie party was really fun.
How was it? It was great.
Yeah, it
You had a
was
good
so much
turnout.
fun.
Did you make it?
I was sick.
Did you wear a onesie?
Yeah,
Okay.
hell yeah, I did. It was a good crowd,
Okay.
really good crowd.
Yeah, it's nice to have you back in there.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
One of these things that I feel like I can, I've been living my single life, my so-called single life, but I've just been meeting more people out, and I would put myself in situations and force myself to be social, and especially with not drinking and stuff, pushing my boundaries. And so I've met a lot of people over these past few months. Most of them are think I'm okay. Some of them don't. But I was able to invite a lot of people into Schwartz and Sandy's that I've met more recently.
Yeah. Dude, it's a great fucking spot.
It is.
I mean,
It's so fun.
It's unfortunate we became beacon for so much negativity, but
Yeah.
or a lightning rod for so much negativity, but because it's really a great. Every time people come in, we get they rave to me before they leave. Dude, I honestly didn't have high expectations, but I loved the food, loved the vibes,
Food
great
is so good.
music, great drinks, and
Dude,
I'm
our
gonna
staff
come
is
back.
so awesome, man.
yes,
They're so cool.
I know.
What I love too is about Schwartz and Sandy's. You could go. There's different vibes in Schwartz and Sandy's. You could go and get a booth and kind of do the booth thing, and
Yeah.
kind of get your group and be in a little booth and do your own little. We can go to the bar and be lively at the bar.
Yes.
Go on the
Yeah.
dance floor and hype it up and dance on the dance floor and have any one of those experiences you want.
Yes.
I
Or you can
love
go
that.
outside, smoke a cigarette,
Yeah.
or you could go
a
into
great
the bathroom
smoking
and
area.
zen out.
Yeah.
You can go zen out in the bathroom if you haven't been in there. You can take a mirror selfie,
Yes.
which are cool again because of Schwartz and Sandy's.
Yeah.
You definitely have the best mirror selfie.
It's awesome.
But anyways, I don't want to whine about it. We're gonna keep on keeping on. We're gonna power through. And
Hey, I'm glad to be back here with you, man.
yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Got a little rocky there for a while,
I know.
but
know. Obviously, we're gonna see how things play out on the new season of Vanderpump Rules, which I gotta say, we always this time in between the show airing and wrapping filming is always one of our favorites.
it's like a honeymoon phase every year.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful thing because you don't have to relive what you
Yeah.
filmed just yet.
just yeah.
And it's always during the holidays.
Although
which-
they gave us a little bit of a fucking tease with the with these. It's why you gotta show those scenes from the new season? Now it's
People want it.
I know.
it's gonna
but
be a good fucking season.
It is.
I know
It's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be
a
tough.
really hard one.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for you to watch, for all of us to watch.
I'm gonna try to watch it.
I'll watch it with you.
Yeah.
I never watched the show. I think people know this by now about me.
Yeah.
I get scolded sometimes because of it, but I'll watch it this year.
You've
I'll
never
watch
watched
it.
and
No, I've watched
any seasons?
Like at the end of the year, I will skim. I'll work out for the 2 days before the reunion, and I will skim through almost every episode. I'll watch 40% of them.
Are you guys ever shocked, beyond shocked about what they don't put in?
Sometimes.
You're like, whoa, I can't believe you didn't put that in.
I think more earlier in the show we were. I was at least.
There's certain scenes that are just terrible, and they're going to end up on the cutting room floor.
And then they end up in there. Like, there's
Really?
been some that have ended up in there that we were like, I'm like, there's no way this fucking scene's making it in there. There was even one in the Super Tees that I thought there's no way it was making it in there. The one of they show of me like meditating with I can't go into details too much about it, but it's just when you feel like there's not a lot of involvement with multiple people, like you don't think that shit's gonna end up in there.
But it must work if it is in the show.
Yeah, I mean,
It's adding something if they put it in because they're very mindful
yeah,
of what they put in there.
Yeah.
And
sometimes
they're great
though,
at what they do.
they're-
Shout out to the editors.
yeah, for
Unless you keep making me look bad.
But
Just kidding.
it's
I-
never boring. I feel like viewers
Yeah.
never watch and it's like, oh, this is boring.
real. Oh, dude, no. I mean, we could have a whole nother show just from the stuff that does hit the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy the things that we've shot that that are so hilarious, ridiculous.
And sometimes, they feel hilarious or ridiculous to us, but then once you do see them played back, you're like, or you see a snippet of it, you're like, oh, maybe that wasn't as funny as I remember.
I don't
And
know.
they-
Well,
I
most of
don't
the
know.
stuff that doesn't end up in there, we never see. But yeah, man, this year, like, wow, looking back, man, at the start of this year, coming into this year, I don't know where I thought I would be. Like, I don't know if I thought I would be here or not. I mean, as I've said before, like, I wasn't really. I was thinking of my future. I wasn't. I was in the moment. I obviously made so many mistakes and was shitty. But
Man, a year ago. Can I tell you where we were a year ago?
I'm sorry.
Well, at least where we were. I think like almost literally a year ago. We played a show in Chicago. Almost a year ago. Remember that show we played in Chicago?
yes.
At like the Bourbon, not the Bourbon Room, but it's like
yeah.
Bourbon 165 or something. It was an amazing show.
Yeah.
And then Schwartz and Sandy's, you guys had a New Year's party there.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That was one of like my favorite New Year's. It was so fun.
Oh my God.
Remember that feels like 10 years ago.
Feels like
So
Five
long.
minutes.
ago.
Kimmy and I were just talking about that
Yeah.
because we're like, what did we do last year for New Year's? And we were at Schwartz and Sandy's.
Yeah.
Damn, that feels like so long ago.
Wow.
A year ago.
That seems so
What?
long ago.
this is the most action-packed year of my life, good and bad, without a doubt.
Whoa.
Good and bad?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Anyways, I don't
Yeah,
know. My mind just goes numb when I replay it. It honestly goes numb.
every day at times this year seemed like a fucking journey. You know? It was just I look back and like I am actually like I feel like I've lived, a very full action-packed life in a lot of ways, and I feel so lucky and blessed and all these things that I've been able to experience. And I gotta say, even looking back on this year, I do feel fortunate to have been able to experience something through life that I never thought I was experiencing. And even though it was super negative and super dark and like some of my lowest lows, I feel just like I just feel more experienced and far more educated and more like I have more wisdom just on myself, just on experiences, just on variety, just because of this year alone. And I'm actually really grateful for that. I really am.
Yeah, it's like you have to fall down, but it's like the ultimate failure, the ultimate like fall down to like get up and grow.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what you needed.
it really is. Like I
The biggest
felt,
mistakes are the most impactful for sure.
Yeah.
As we've all learned by now. But,
yeah, like
yeah, dude.
seeing like just all these things that happened and have happened. Like I don't know if I believe in fate. I don't know if I've ever really been like, oh, everything happens for a reason. But like, it's sometimes with my life, it's like hard to argue with that. And you know me, like I like to question everything. I don't believe in anything. I'm never like, oh, I'm a devout this or like, oh, astrology. Like I'm not I don't. It's not that I shut the door on anything. I just question everything. And obviously, I've always questioned the thing like, oh, believe in fate. Like everything happens for a reason. But like in my life, it's like all these little things, like meeting Kristen and then that, and then meeting you and then meeting you. It's like, and all these little accidents, like as Bob Ross would say, happy little accidents.
Yeah.
That have happened, like, have led me to this place. And of course, like, do I wish I could be in a different place? But what is that place? And I don't know, like, what it is. And, of course, like, you say you look back and it's like hindsight's always 20/20, but, like, would it have gotten me here?
Yeah, you just took me back to Cabo, Mango Deck. By the way, if you know, you know. It's an institution, and it's kind of over the top and ridiculous. It's like the quintessential spring break spot, but it's also fun and kind of nostalgic. But I was there recently for my boy's Menashe's birthday, and I was riffing with somebody. I'm pretty much having the same conversation, and just telling him it's been an insane year, good and bad. I was honing in more on the negative stuff, and then they were like, "Well, it can't be that bad if it led you here, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess you're right." Just piggybacking off what you were just saying, Yeah. That was nothing profound, but I was just like, yeah, you're right.
I mean,
everything's gonna be okay.
I mean, like, I'm single and I'm 41, and I'm like, to some people that could look pretty fucking pathetic.
Ew.
It's so gross.
Gross.
But
there's a lot of
also like I'm able to experience something I've never experienced in my life.
Yeah, and like at the end of the day, are you happy?
I am.
Like, do you wake up happy?
Like for the most part, like I have been. I mean, obviously, I struggle with outside things, but for the most part, I feel a sense of optimism. Like,
that's a good thing. Not everybody has that. Like, are you working? Are you growing? Like, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
it's been a rarity of the past year, but I gotta say, it's making a resurgence right now. I'm hyped. Usually, like, I'm dreading January. I'm like, I have big fuck you January energy, and I have like a hangover after the holidays, and I'm sad for about a month. But I'm ready for January this year. I'm not gonna be clinging. I'm gonna take my tree down January 2nd, and I'm usually I leave it up to like February 4th. And
yeah, this baby's staying up till April.
Yeah.
I think I made it to March this year. March, yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel like your decorations last year were up for a long time.
Oh yeah, I love it.
But I have a sense of
it's a light source. I love lights.
How many times have you watched Elf this year?
Not once yet.
Home Alone? What?
It has been on nonstop. I think it's on loop, like every channel.
I watched Home Alone.
I watched Home Alone 1 and 2 this morning. Yeah.
I'm saving 2. It's like a bottle of wine. I'm saving it.
2 scoops, sir? Make it 3. I'm not driving.
My
mantra this time of year.
I've done a really good job with Home Alone of not overwatching it. So like, I don't know everything that's gonna come out. Like, I don't know, like, it's just the right amount of times.
That's me with Home Alone 2, but Home Alone 1, I could almost recite every line, I think.
You know what's so interesting?
Yeah.
Home Alone, 1 and 2, both amazing, right? Elf, they always ask Will Ferrell, "Oh, will you do an Elf 2?" And he goes, "No, I will never do an Elf 2. I don't want to ruin it." But what happens if, they asked the director of Home Alone 1, "Would you do?" And he said, "No, I don't want to ruin Home Alone 1." We never have Home Alone 2.
It was a
John Hughes
movie.
yeah.
Yeah, John Hughes.
The late, great John Hughes.
But
I'm glad that
it's great watching the story of how that all came together, by the way. Like, John Candy, like, literally one day of filming, like, he somehow got, like, John Williams to, like, score it. Like,
from that
all
Netflix
these things came
doc?
into place, and then also they added the Christmas element, I think, later on to the story.
Really?
It wasn't a Christmas movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's such a
Yeah.
huge part of
You
the
mean
story.
like the
though.
art direction, all the reds and
It's
the
actually
greens
really
and-
not a huge part of the story.
Well, they go away for Christmas,
I know, but they could just go for any old trip.
like for any vacation.
Yeah, it could be a summer vacation.
Yeah, but like the winter aspect of it seems like a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Like, the old man could be like raking leaves, I guess, right?
Yeah.
What a different movie.
He could be like,
He could be
painting his
outside
house.
mowing his lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I guess so.
He could be like planting apple trees.
Now that's a movie I want to see.
Yeah. He's the literal Johnny Appleseed.
They're going away for Arbor Day.
But so you guys have been indulging in the holiday movies in moderation?
Yeah.
Really? Are you saving them for like the actual day? You guys, it's almost over. You got to get after it.
Well,
Have you
I
watched-
will, man. And like, I'm leaving this thing up till at least March, so I got time, bro.
Okay.
I love listening to, classic records.
Yeah.
Goodyear, like as in the Goodyear tires, blimp, all that stuff. They used to have these records that would come out. I actually have a few over here if you guys want to see them, but they are amazing. I can show you my absolute favorite one. I found these records. I grew up with these songs, listening to these songs, and I found these records, and so I'm able to like listen to the songs that I grew up like listening to.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
time
cool.
travel. That's
It's really
awesome.
cool.
It
It's
really
like
is.
sometimes I like to take moments over here and just have like over the years I've, just not over the years, but just, I sit here listening to records, have like a nice little espresso drink or something, or
Yeah.
like, and it's pretty cool. Like,
By the fireplace crackling. You're going to go home and spend the holidays with your family.
yeah,
What's
I'm a
your
little-
favorite Christmas song?
I would say,
Sing it.
Do You Hear What I Hear by Andy Williams.
Yeah.
Oh wow, look at that.
And these are all
That looks like a classic.
Silent Night, Barbra Streisand, the Do You Hear What I Hear, Andy Williams, the Johnny Mathis Christmas song, that famous one that's on this record for Johnny Mathis, or with Johnny Mathis. Also, We Need a Little Christmas is on this, and it's really great. But yeah,
I like Elvis's rendition of I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Oh, that's a. Yeah, that's great.
I'll be home for Christmas.
hell yeah.
That's my go-to when I'm listening to Alexa. Alexa, play Elvis Christmas Radio. Never fails.
Elvis Christmas Radio coming right up.
Yeah. But the holiday vibes are alive and well. Yes.
I know we've obviously taken our licks this season, or I'm sorry, I should say this year. See, like when you're on a reality show, you sometimes refer to years as seasons, but this year we've definitely taken our licks, and deservedly so. But again, like I don't know, like I'm just, it's just been, when you feel like you're just on this path, and you are going a certain route, and it should feel right, but it doesn't. Something doesn't seem right. There was a lot of that feeling going on in my life, whether it was my relationship, my habits, what I was doing, my work, I don't know, but something felt off.
Yeah.
It was something I felt really like it started off small, and then it became like a bigger thing. I don't know what it was, but sometimes you feel like you're going on this path, you're on it, and it should be great and everything's fine and technically and on paper or whatever, like, but you feel like something's off and something's wrong and it's not right, and you try to ignore it, you try to push it down, and then it just all of a sudden manifests and builds into this big thing, and then you end up doing something like crazy, even consciously or subconsciously, to rebel against that like path or whatever that position you're in. And it's unfortunate that I didn't recognize that like sooner, and that I should have paid attention to it, shouldn't have ignored it, shouldn't have like let it turn into what it became. And it's unfortunate that everybody got, a lot of people got hurt from that, and I feel bad about it. And I also just know in that experience what I've learned, to not ignore those things, to not ignore those little things that maybe aren't so little, you know?
Yeah.
We talked about that before. I was joking about you being a cautionary tale, although to some extent you are, but I'm sure a lot of people who were watching that and living that out with you were just like, it was a wake-up call for a lot of people in relationships that are unfulfilled or maybe on the rocks, or someone who was thinking or had a budding affair. And I'm sure it curbed a lot of bad decisions. A lot of bad decisions, or opened up a conversations that needed to be discussed in relationships, or was the impetus for people to go to therapy, or to just really sit down and have a respectful, meaningful chat with the person they love, a State of the Union address with their significant other, right? I don't know.
I mean, I definitely
I'm not saying it was so.
There was a couple times I did have those in my relationship with Ariana, but it wasn't enough, and it wasn't serious enough, and it should have been handled more on a regular basis. And I have to, we both could have worked harder, I feel like, and I did put a lot of work in as a boyfriend on a regular basis, but obviously it wasn't the right kind of work, and it wasn't like the right thing to do. And sometimes it's not just doing the things, but feeling them, and really it's about that connection.
Right.
And I actually would, when we were on tour, when we first went on tour, because obviously we had, the show must go on, we had tour dates and everything. There was a lot of people that came up to me that had been in affairs or were actually currently in affairs.
I remember.
And they weren't even asking me a lot of times for advice, and nor am I the person to really give it because I wasn't able to handle it correctly. But they would tell me how they're in this affair, but they're like, I'm not going anywhere. It's not getting resolved. There was a lot of them, they're like, we're basically giving me the vibe that it's going to keep going indefinitely, which is fucking crazy. But
yeah, I heard a lot of condensed affair stories in Schwartz and Sandy's and TomTom. And usually, I mean, just giving you the cliff notes, it was I did more or less the same thing. I was disgusted with myself. I hated the way I handled it. But now we're both in such better places, and we're both thriving. And, we'll never be as close as we were before, but we're cool now. And, these, I'm assuming years afterwards. But I heard a lot of those stories. I'm talking maybe hundreds.
Dude.
Hundreds.
Yeah, a lot.
I'm not trying to normalize
having
an affair.
Did you find that it was less about, and I'm not trying to say this to I'm going to get myself up, whatever. But what I found is that I wasn't alone in this in a lot of ways, because a lot of people kept these affairs going, not because they were trying to have their cake and eat it too. I think a lot of it came from not wanting to hurt the person they were with. And I know that sounds crazy and some sort of fucking weird way of thinking about it, but meaning they knew if they told the person about it, they knew if they broke up that the person would be hurt and whatever, so they kept it going.
I mean, ultimately that's going to hurt them more than just having them.
I know, but it was the short the short fix. They were in the short fix mentality of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not addressing the problem. It's not, when you have a life with someone and you don't want to really address the real issue, and there are so many other issues going on, and you're having this affair, it's it's easy to keep this affair going on and I'll take care of that tomorrow. I'll take care of breaking this thing up tomorrow. This changing my whole life tomorrow. It's easy to do that and continue this affair, I would think, because who would want to, blow up their whole life? I mean, it seems like that would be very difficult. I can't imagine, even though that is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Right? That's the right thing to do.
Yeah, of course.
I imagine it's incredibly difficult, even though it it's the right thing to do.
But
It's
but having an affair is ultimately far more
And then you
cruel
end up-
and
yeah, you
Right.
difficult on yourself.
Of
and
course.
and,
You end up
run- you
and
end
your
up running
significant
from that.
other.
100%. Like
Yeah.
doing but sometimes we like it's like doing what is going to hurt us in the long run and hurt the other people in our world and in our lives. Like that's what we do sometimes.
Yeah, it's like you're like putting a piece of tape on a piece of gum on like a leaking dam.
Right. It's like, oh, I'll address this tomorrow, even though it's going to hurt me now.
And then the crazy thing is you end up like, you're just like, oh my God, this is like, like all of a sudden you're in it, your emotions take over, and then like you blink and it's like, this is a fucking thing. Like this is a thing.
It's like, the show Fargo?
Yeah.
The movie Fargo?
Yeah.
It's like one little thing, like turns into like this huge, big disaster.
Yeah.
It's like that. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Like,
you end up-
that's like exactly what you're talking about.
And then you're
Like in a blink, like this one little thing turns into this big disaster.
yeah.
You should give a PSA right now,
Yeah.
guys. If you're unhappy in your relationship,
Just
you feel
get
lost.
out.
You've been experiencing feelings for a coworker, your work wife or husband, and it's starting to like escalate. Don't do it.
Obviously with kids it's
Don't-
different. I don't have kids. I can't speak on that, but
Don't do it. Just sit down and have
Don't do it.
have that very uncomfortable conversation with your partner.
Go to therapy.
Go to therapy or just say it's over.
Yeah.
Don't have a fucking
And
affair.
I think one thing that really kept me hanging on was the insecurity I had myself. I felt like, oh my gosh, like I can't lose this other person, because like I'll never get this. I'll never, you know what I'm saying? Like I had such an insecurity with myself that I felt like if I let this go, like it'll never happen again, or I won't, I can't find that again. You can. And, banking on that is a much safer bet than staying and doing and living in that, like,
Double
I gotta,
life.
like, now, like, I don't know if that makes sense. Did I lose you on that one?
Yeah,
No.
you lost me. on that one. I thought I was with you. I thought you were gonna say just living a double life is a nightmare.
What I'm saying is like, I was in a position where I had such low, like, self-confidence and so low, like, self-worth in that aspect, that when, like, the whole Rachel thing happened, like, I had a hard time, like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this girl is, like, I'm her biggest cheerleader, but I'm also, like, her biggest fan, and, like, I want to see her do great, but here she is, like, this beautiful girl, like, coming on to me, like, I don't deserve this. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I had such low self-worth in a sense that, like, it'd be hard to cut off that.
I get what you're saying. I think that when you're caught up in something that's not right and all these things are happening, your mind fills with other shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's what was going on with you.
Yeah.
You knew you were doing something wrong, and other shit was filling your mind about other, like, stuff with Rachel. So it was like all this bad shit filling up your mind, and it was just anxiety.
And then you would become an addict. You cling on to that feeling that you have, that euphoria, that feeling that you have when you're with that person.
Right.
That you start to, like, hide from the reality of the rest of your life. And you just become lost in that.
Yeah.
And, dude, that, I look back on that now and I'm like, holy shit. And, like, Schwartz, like, and other people around me, they saw me like I was fucking fixated and, like, barely present.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a background character in your life for that phase.
Everybody was.
Complete background character.
Yeah.
You would yeah, well, anyways, you'll see that play out
Yeah.
in this season. But yeah, everybody was a background character in your life.
Yeah. It was fucked up.
Yeah. Hey,
But you guys got a lot of great stuff to look forward to in the future because you guys are going on vacation.
We're going on vacation.
Where are you going?
Our first vacation, my first vacation, I'm sorry, I speak for myself, and since 2018, we are going to Hong Kong.
Whew.
to Singapore
Woo.
and to Bangkok.
Oh yeah.
Thailand.
Yeah.
Wow.
Taking Khao Chan, my buddy Tyler.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
We're eating, we're praying, we're loving.
Wow.
We're going to indulge in some culture. I'm
Yeah.
going to eat like I've never eaten before.
Damn.
I'm probably going to get a tattoo.
Whoa.
Like a subtle one.
Maybe I'll get one actually.
Yeah, we're going to get that in Hong Kong.
The neck tattoo you've always wanted?
I'm really thinking about it.
I could see you coming back with a full on like hat, like your whole body just covered.
Yeah.
I could see it, at least a full leg tattoo. Because when you do something, you don't do it in small. You go for it.
Let's get a little star right here.
I don't believe you. You're gonna like Post Malone it.
I'll Post Malone it.
I remember he in an interview I was listening to, he was like, yeah, I didn't really like tattoos, and like I was like hanging out with Justin Bieber, and he like wanted me to get one. I got one, and then after that, like 2 years later, he's just like fully tatted up.
Damn.
I get it.
Don't hang out with Justin Bieber is what I'm trying to tell you.
That's
Okay.
That's the
Fully
lesson.
tatted.
Yeah.
Face tattoos.
Face tattooed up.
Um.
So where are you going first?
We're going to
Singapore.
Hong Kong
Oh
first.
yeah, Jesus.
Hong
Yeah.
Kong
And then we're going to
first.
Bangkok,
In Bangkok.
and then we're going to Singapore.
Wow. Do you have anything planned in any of these places?
Yes.
To survive.
I mean, that's,
No, we're
gonna-
that's
we're
the main objective.
Yeah.
but
We're staying in some really cool places. We actually have people we're meeting up with in different areas.
Mhm. We have some
Um,
hosts that live there that are friends of Kyle.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Kang
we have
from
a-
Kang from Bling Empire.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, we're gonna meet up with him in Singapore.
Nice.
And meeting up with
Are you going to? So you're going to do a nice combination of city places and then also like some
Mostly
tropical.
not as much tropical as
beachy-
I'd
yeah,
like.
because it's a little bit like these are all obviously big countries, and like you kind of gotta choose one or the other.
Yeah.
Because we're going like 3 days.
Oh wow.
So
We're going a little heavy on the city action.
we are.
Nice.
But it was a choice. I'm a little sad about it.
We are.
We're not
We
going
are.
to Phuket. We're not
What
going to go.
the fuck did you say?
What?
Just
Gonna
kidding.
bleep that
Well,
out.
my driver last night, I told him our schedule, and he's like, dude, just skip everything and go to Thailand the whole entire time. He's like, it changed my life. It's my favorite place in the world.
I hear Thailand's amazing.
He's like, dude, just go to the tropical parts of Thailand after Bangkok and thank me later. And maybe one of those ping pong ball shows.
You got to. It's like going to Amsterdam and not going to one of those shows.
I said, I was
Yeah.
like, are they ethical?
We'll make it ethical.
Yeah.
Do they get
Whatever that means.
I went to Amsterdam, and while I was studying abroad, and obviously like we went to one of those shows, and they were doing like a banana trick, and they were like in the audience trying to they went into the audience to be like, hey, do you want to do this banana trick? And people were like, no, and they came up to me and they're like, do you want to do the banana trick? I was like, no, and they were like, you're a fucking pussy. That's what she said to me.
Dude, I'm worried that I've put too much stock in this trip in terms of what it's going to do for my
I have
my
zero.
mindset.
I have zero.
I'm just so excited. I don't care. I don't
I
actually
haven't
care
taken
what.
a trip in so long; it's really stressing me out.
I just feel like I need to get out of the country.
Can I ask
Nobody
you-
knows us, and nobody knows us in these places either. So I'll be
That's
able
going to be cool.
Oh.
yeah.
Can I ask you guys a
Sounds
question? I
nefarious.
always ask people who travel out of the country, what airline are you guys flying? It's such a weird question, but I always ask it.
I don't even know.
I don't know. We might be
Yeah.
flying United.
You don't.
We all booked it together.
I have a fear of flying, so it's a weird quirk I have where I always ask people like, what airline are you flying?
It's an airline I've never heard of before. That's why I can't. I don't even know how to pronounce it here.
Yeah,
See, that freaks me
Anyways,
out.
Yeah.
it's gonna be great.
You guys don't even know what airline you're taking. We do.
Dude, it's gonna be great.
I never really seeked out that therapy I was looking for this year. I feel like I'm gonna get it from this trip. And
I think Schwartz. I'm gonna tell you that like therapy is therapy.
I know,
Everything else
I know.
is
this is I've been needing to get away for a long time.
is
Probably
important,
Yes.
and it's therapeutic. But
Yes.
therapy is fucking therapy.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will do that. And I will be getting some therapy, at least quarterly, maybe once a month. Anyways, no more surrogate therapists. This is the last one.
We're pro
Okay.
therapy here, and everybody
Yeah.
loves Tom.
Yeah. I am too. I I've just been avoiding it.
You know, when I first got with my therapist, the biggest thing that like was a huge hurdle for me, because filming this show, you do tend to harbor resentment. You're like, oh, this got edited this way. This is like what is going on the history books, but like actually like it was much deeper. This happened before that caused this, blah, blah, blah. Like there's a lot. It's a lot for every person to deal with that does reality TV, and especially on our show. And, you know, that's why no matter who I'm getting along with or whatever time on our show, I always do have respect for them in that sense, because we all go through it, all of us. And one of the things that was the hardest for me is I did not want to go to a therapist who like watched our show so I could get a fresh perspective. But then I knew I would have to like explain the entire Star Wars universe to this therapist so they could understand. But I just fucking did it. And I'm glad I did it, because it was like the biggest thing keeping me from going to therapy.
How do you know they didn't watch the show?
Just talking to them, just like getting to know them, like, you know, telling them about it, and they're like, oh, I'm not familiar, but I've heard of it.
Right,
Yeah. I know who Lisa Vanderpump is from, like, they'd be like, oh, from Desperate House. It's so funny. Whenever somebody says Desperate Houses, I'm like, okay, you really don't know. You know?
Yeah.
Like, no.
No. But yeah, I recommend doing it.
Yeah.
And then you have somebody who you can really get that out, and they can help you handle and work through situations in real time. And then you can go back and tell them what works and what doesn't. And I know you specifically sometimes have a hard time opening up, and this is, you know, it's one of your biggest strengths, and one of your biggest strengths is you get along with everyone, so you always leave a little bit reserved back yourself. Sometimes it comes out, rarely.
Yeah.
But like you have that person to let that out too.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all have our dark passengers. Yours stays hidden more so, I feel like, than anybody else on our show, even or in a lot of people I know.
He comes out quarterly too. Maybe it's usually in traffic. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
But
The things that Schwartz says to people, and
if you were driving by, you would never be able to tell that. But inside, I'm seething with rage. I'm not outwardly. I'm not flicking people off. I don't have road rage. Inward.
Inside.
But
it comes. When does it come out though? How often does
it's
that
like
come
if
out?
you ever seen that bit in like you ever seen that bit where like Will Ferrell is like dealing with his anger towards his pets that aren't listening to him by like talking really condescendingly to them, and like being like, that's what Schwartz is like in traffic.
Oh, yeah. I thought you say in regard to Gordo and Butters. No. I was like, dude, no. The fuck? Those are my therapists too. But anyways, I'm happy just to go, and I just want to go experience some new cultures and be anywhere but Los Angeles, even though I love it here. And I'm so grateful I live here.
Dude, we gotta like document this trip, man, because like
Yeah.
me and you, dude, we're good travel buddies. Like when we go around the places, like we always bring out different experiences with each other. We handle things in such different ways. We always look out for each other in different ways. Like our strengths and our weaknesses and our differences and our similarities, they all like come out when we travel, when we get put in different like places and positions.
Yeah, they work in concert when we travel together.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
like a symphony.
We travel well together.
But you get back from an epic vacation like this, and we'll look at our camera rolls. I'll have like 4 pictures, and it's like one meal or maybe like a beer on the beach, and that's it. We're not in any of them.
And I have like
you have a trillion
video rolls and like everything, and like yeah. We're gonna document
You
this
got
trip
it.
more.
This is an epic one.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do this trip my whole life.
I'm gonna be saying yes a
Wow.
lot.
Ever since I saw Leonardo DiCaprio on the beach, and we're not even going to go to the location where they filmed the beach.
I mean, you probably have to wait in a line for 2 hours.
No, it's like, yes, for a while after that movie came out, that happened. But anyways, I'm sad. I'm not going to get to listen to Moby while the sun rises. And I'm sitting out there. And
Hey, man, maybe we'll make something happen.
Maybe you will.
I would like that.
You know when when you plant a seed, like in my head, like
Yeah.
You know, and as this podcast comes to an end, as this year does, we asked some of our Patreon subscribers, and thanks for being subscribed.
thank you very much for being a subscriber. And also, I just want to say before we thanks, Jason. Before we carry on, I really, really appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart sticking by me, sticking by us, joining us, going on this journey, doing this, asking questions, being interested. And I promise you that, we're going to keep doing this and making it better and growing. And we're going to continue to do what we're doing, but we're just going to keep adding more interesting content. We want to start adding, hopefully, planning to add some musical elements, other things as well. And, yeah. So I just want to say there's a lot more to come, and I'm excited, and I hope you guys are too. And again, thank you.
Yes, thank you. So we asked them who they would like to see on the podcast in the future, in the new year. So I'm going to throw out, we got a lot of names here of people. So I'm going to throw out some names and to get your reaction to see what you guys think.
I am fucking so bad with pop culture. So what if I don't?
No, I mean, I think you would know a lot of these people.
Okay, I'm really excited.
I'm just going to throw out some names and just let me know if we should have them on the podcast.
Okay.
Erica Jane.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think so, right?
Yeah.
Jax. We were getting Jax a lot.
Yeah.
I think
we're due for a reunion.
I think that would be pretty epic.
I think, you know what I think it would be cool? And this is another thing, too, that we want to try to maybe do is take this like on the road. Not like on the road touring, but like go around to different places.
Yeah.
So I think Jax would be a really fun one to like start at Jax's bar.
That would be fun.
Record there and then end up at like either TomTom and or Schwartz and Sandy's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that would be fucking cool. So I say if we do Jax, let's do it a little different. Let's do an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. I love that. Andy Cohen.
Yes.
The dream.
I mean, that is. I mean,
Andy's so damn busy.
Talk
Not
about
that everybody else is, but Andy's a machine.
Talk about the dream. Lisa Vanderpump.
Yeah.
Is someone people have written. Stassi.
Stassi would be very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to have her on the show.
Yeah, I know, dude.
I don't know if she does other. She does the occasional other podcast, but she's pretty elusive these days. She's just had another kid.
Woo.
But
You send her that invite.
I could plant the seed.
The Most Extras.
Yeah.
People have written before.
I would love to hear from their point of view what it's like working with Tom Sandoval.
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, would love to have those guys on.
Kristen Doty.
Doty,
Okay.
for sure.
People have written Lala. We got a bunch of Lalas.
Yeah.
Obviously, people.
So pretty much all of our previous cast members and
if you could believe that, people.
Wait, what? Sheena, Brock, James.
How do you know?
He's like, oh, that's it. That's nowhere on the list.
Well, they people have written the Jersey Shore cast.
Fuck yeah.
That would be awesome. You know what I would love to have on is Spencer and Heidi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Spencer is. They're both really cool people, but I'm a fan of Spencer for sure. Because that guy, you know what? The thing about the Hills, I wish they could have brought it back and it would have done well. The problem is there wasn't enough Spencers on that show. You know, like that's the key with. You got to have camaraderie, you got to have trust, but you also can't have too big of egos. And I'm not saying everybody's like got big egos, but they're just a little too worried about looking bad maybe and how they're portrayed. This is just because I didn't watch. Actually, I shouldn't say that because I really didn't watch the show. But this is kind of what I heard, and I get it. Like that'll kill any show. You bring on people like that are too big, like
or think the show's beneath them.
Yeah, and they're also like they don't, they're like, why am I'm already doing well. Why would I risk this? Why would I? You got to have people that like have investing interest in a show.
Yeah, I agree with that. This person writes, this is kind of interesting. Lexi writes, people you guys knew from when you guys were just starting in LA, paint us a picture of that hot nightlife circa 2006.
Yeah, I wanted to do an early days episode talking about how hard we grinded and just recounting stories from like horrible nightmare auditions, strange encounters, music videos we've done with different musicians. Like Jax was in a Britney Spears music video back in the day, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like,
I've been in a bunch of
yeah.
I've been in a bunch of music videos too.
Yeah, music videos are a whole different world.
Yeah,
I love
painting
that
that picture.
medium, but yeah.
I went to this one casting. It was through my modeling agency, and it was a legit casting. It was some big legit campaign. And like I opened up the book of this guy's work on the coffee table, and it's like literally like all pictures of dudes just completely jerking off to completion, like literally like jizz flying out of the pee hole onto things. And I was like, I was like, yo, where did you send me? Like, what's going on here? But like, I just remember that specifically.
Yeah.
That this guy really liked to like photograph that.
Well, how was the lighting in the pictures?
The lighting was fantastic.
Yeah.
That's the best jizz I've ever seen.
All the cameras were broken. Drowned.
This is kind of similar. This person says Neil deGrasse Tyson. That could be.
I would love to have.
I met him.
You did?
Yeah.
Let's get him on. I would love to talk about the cosmos with him. Then you could bring up
Dude.
that jizz story.
I asked him. Yeah, I could tell him about that story.
What did you ask him?
Yeah, we'll get to space, but
I asked him a question, and I'm very proud of this question because I'm a skeptical of dark matter. I am a
I
skeptical.
knew that
of dark
about you.
matter.
You're a
I had a
dark man.
feeling.
And I asked
Wait,
him,
what is dark matter?
dark matter. So apparently, like in your normal like galaxy, there's a black hole in the center like of our Milky Way, and then there's planets that go around and stars and everything. And I guess that there's just apparently not enough gravity to keep a galaxy from like the stars just spiraling, or sorry, just flying away. So they created this dark matter. Scientists did, theoretical physics, all physicists, to keep the galaxies from going apart. My biggest thing is, when you get small enough, things act differently. When you get big enough, I feel like they act differently as well. When you don't have anything affecting or like putting force on something, it's just going to go with whatever's closest. We just like before you get to the Oort cloud, our solar system is already like, I believe, 4 light years across. I asked Neil deGrasse Tyson, I said, look, is the only evidence of dark matter a 10-year-old computer program and also like gravitational lensing that like exists? Is that it? And he's like, yes. And then he's like, but prove it wrong. And I'm like, well, I can't probably do that. But
And you're like, I've been working my
but
whole
guess
life
what?
to do that.
That was fucking awesome because I was like, yo, I'm right in that aspect. Like, there's the only is a program that was at some university. I'm not dogging like anything like that is awesome, but when you get small enough, like things act differently. Particles, like you can see the neutrons, like the proton, like going around, like atoms and all that stuff. As you get bigger, things must react differently. Like they must act differently, right? There's this no mass, like no mass having dark matter, like you know what I mean? Like
I gotta polish up. I love this stuff.
Yeah.
We'll go down a rabbit hole later.
You've watched him on Cosmos, right?
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
It is amazing.
He is so great.
He's so great.
I watch him on little like YouTube shorts, on like TikToks. Like his points are so great, and he's so passionate about them.
Exuberant, just like so enthusiastic about the subject matter, and yeah.
Wow,
He'd
what
be
an
a
epic
dream
podcast to get him
guest.
on.
And he also like is very. I just love his perspective on like alien life. Like, I mean,
Jeez, what a dream.
yeah.
2024.
Yale.
So
Wish
more
list.
scientists, more biologists,
Yeah, more
theoretical
professionals, more experts.
physicists.
Do you know what I want to
more-
have on
yeah.
here?
Yes,
Experts.
more experts on the
Yeah.
show, musicians.
I would love to have like a previous James Bond.
You've been saying
Yeah, you've been saying
George,
that for a while.
just say his name.
There's one you want, Tom.
there's
I want
only one.
George Lazenby.
Yeah.
Let's get
George,
George Lazenby on here. Like right away,
please.
actually.
I think he's like 95.
And he's still a stud.
Yeah.
I watched that. Because of you. I watched.
Of Her Majesty's Secret Service is one of my favorite James Bonds. It's great, well shot. He did so great. Also, I want to bring on like a good bartender magician,
Yeah. Obviously, some like relationship therapists.
like a actor, but
An
a bar instead of an actor model. I want to bring on a bartender.
There definitely
magician.
are those out
And
there.
we need some
Yeah.
mentalists on the show.
Yes,
We love a good mentalist.
Yeah,
That'd be
but
great.
but it's not going to be so.
I would love a hypnotist.
Yeah, hypnotist.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
that'd
do
be
it.
Great. Remember we went to the Magic Castle? That was so fun.
yes,
Well, we'll get Matt Franco on.
yes.
He was great.
really cool. That
Wow,
man.
Yeah.
If you're in Vegas, check out Matt Franco's show.
Yeah.
Franco.
It's awesome.
he's got one of the best card sleight of hands
Yeah.
in the biz.
Best
really.
magician in
Trust
Vegas.
me, I know. As an expert
In dark
In
matter.
dark matter.
in dark matter,
Okay.
he's got one of the best sleight of hands. Yeah.
But
What else? What else? Any other questions?
That's it for
Really?
the potential guests.
yeah.
I think we can wrap it up. That was
Let's
great.
wrap it
That
up.
was great. What a great year. We launched the show.
We launched the show.
That's a big step
That's
towards having a successful show.
yeah.
I
Two
didn't.
Toms. There's two Toms here. There's two Jasons.
Yeah.
This I gotta
It
say,
makes
doing
sense.
this has been instrumental in as a preventative measure in me just turning into a full hermit. Like I said before on the show, I was half joking but half serious. I started to feel a desire to pretty much just never talk again. I was gonna take a vow of silence.
And you're
Wow.
great. You
No.
don't give yourself enough credit.
Ah, thanks.
Yeah,
man.
you're
You're
great.
Good on the mic.
This is such a good. It's a fun for me now. It's getting fun.
Good.
Yeah,
But
that's
I just felt myself going. I felt myself going into like to go live under a rock, and not because I was like shameful or anything that happened.
You're
this
moving to a
past
rock?
year.
Well, Schwartz, don't sell yourself short there. Maybe you'd be better off if that. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. What out just yet?
No,
right,
but
guys.
I want to say like, this has been awesome. Like, the band survived. We got the podcast. We got a lot of dates coming up in the new year.
Yeah,
I'm
February.
so excited. We have we've upped our production tremendously. Like, it is a full experience. We always are changing our set list. I mean, it's been awesome, and then we're gonna continue to grow. I mean, you know me. It's never.
Same with the bar.
Yeah, the bars.
We're up in the production value,
Yeah,
and
bringing in a video wall.
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, we got a lot of shows in February for the band. Go to the website, check them out.
Tom Sandoval, themostextras.com. We're also going to be, providing more content for our Patreon members. Subscribe. And, yeah, 2023, we made it just barely. We're ready. We're ready for 2024.
And we'll be back what date?
January 4th.
With
We'll
a
be back
big guest.
January 4th with a big guest.
Yes.
A guest you've been asking for.
For a while.
Yeah.
That's
For
a
a
clue.
while.
Yeah.
Sweet.
For a vial.
For a
Yeah.
for a Nick Weil.
Oh man. Anyways, thank you so much again for being with us. And what can I say? Everybody loves Tom. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.